In this video I'm going to tell you 10 secret places where no one allowed to visit. First, let's start the video. If you are new to our channel, then don't forget to subscribe. 10 secret places no one is allowed to visit. From islands inhabited by people who have no contact with the outside world to super secret military installations. In today's world, places are supposed to be accessible. People move freely around the country they live in and even between countries. However, there are places in the world that, even today, are strictly off limits to just about everyone. This list explores 10 such places around the world that no one has access to. From islands inhabited by people who have no contact with the outside world to super secret military installations and everything in between, these 10 places are spread across the planet that many people consider so easy to travel to. But these 10 places clearly demonstrate that there are still secrets to be had by governments and by individuals. Most of the places on this list are only accessible to those with the proper clearances, but some are not accessible to anyone at all. Regardless of the status of the places on this list, if you are reading about these places, you absolutely do not have the proper access to visit them. 1. Snake Island, Brazil. Even if you could visit, you'd be running away as quick as possible. Located about 90 miles off the São Paulo, Brazil coast, Snake Island has the highest concentration of venomous snakes in the world. The island is home to the golden lancehead viper, and about 2,000 to 4,000 of these highly venomous snakes live here. That means that there is an estimated 1 to 5 snakes every 10 square feet. Unfortunately, while this is one of the most venomous snakes in the world, it is also one of the most endangered, so there is no going onto the island to clear them out to make way for people. But all it would take is one bite from just one of these snakes to kill a human in about an hour. And that is why Snake Island is forbidden for people to visit. Now, obviously, people have visited the island, but they are mostly scientists and researchers who are trained in how to deal with the snakes. And why would you want to go to an island filled with snakes anyway? Even if you like snakes, there are just so many on this island that it will make your skin crawl because the ground is crawling with super venomous killer snakes. Snake Island may sound like a cool place for a villain to have their lair, but even the most evil villain would be pretty crazy to try and visit, much less stay, on this island. 2. Robbins Island, United States of America, doing it for the turtles. Off the coast of New Suffolk, New York is Robbins Island. The island is 435 acres and is a private island that is not open to the public. The island has a storied history of transfers and mishaps that have led to further transfers of ownership. The owners of the island have gone bankrupt and failed in nearly every venture to make something of the island. Today, the island is privately owned and serves as a nature preserve and sanctuary. The owner has spent the money to rebuild the natural state of the island by bringing in mature oak trees and replacing non-native grasses. Currently, Robbins Island has the healthiest population of turtles in the state of New York, thanks to the efforts of the owner, Louis Bacon. He has even begun to build on the island, with a home and cottages for those that take care of the island. But Robbins Island remains a private place and is strictly off limits to the public. This may seem strange for a nature preserve, but the ecosystem of the island is considered unstable, and Mr. Bacon does not want the island to be destroyed by commercialization. There may be a chance that Robbins Island will be open to the public in the future, but for now, it remains closed. 3. The Whites Gentlemen Club, England. Membership costs more than you make in a year. The Whites Gentlemen Club was founded in 1693 by an Italian immigrant as a hot chocolate shop. However, it very quickly transitioned into a gambling and private gentlemen's club. The club is very exclusive and expensive to join, with notable members including the British royal family's male members. The Whites Gentlemen Club works hard to maintain its exclusivity as the most private and expensive club in the world. You can only imagine what has gone on behind the doors of the Whites Gentlemen Club. Over the centuries, the power that has walked through those doors has shaped the history of Britain and the world at large. Gentlemen's clubs have been around for a very long time, serving as a gathering place for men all over the world. But they have almost always maintained an air of secrecy and are usually very exclusive. The Whites Gentlemen Club is no different in those regards. However, the level of secrecy about what goes on in the White's Gentleman Club is probably higher because of how exclusive the club is. The exclusivity of the White's Gentleman Club comes mainly from the price tag to join, but also because of other factors that keep the riff-raff out. 4. North Sentinel Island, India, an untouched and ancient civilization. North Sentinel Island has been inhabited for about 60,000 years by a tribe of people that have had virtually no contact with the rest of the world in that period of time. Because of the fact that this tribe has had so little contact with other people, the Indian government has decreed that no one may visit the island for fear of a couple of things. First of all, these people have no immunity to diseases from off the island. In the 1800s, some researchers kidnapped people from North Sentinel Island to study them. And the people promptly died of disease. The second reason is because the Indian government wants to keep this tribe untouched. There is so little known about the people of North Sentinel Island because it is nearly impossible to study them. The fact that they have survived 60,000 years without being disturbed by the outside world is remarkable. And the government wants to keep them undisturbed by the outside world. There are very few people in the world that have no contact with the outside world. Yet the people of North Sentinel Island are one such group. Therefore, it is not permissible for anyone to visit the island for fear of destroying this ancient civilization. 5. Isle Grand Shrine, Japan, one family and one family only. There is a temple, or shrine, in Japan that only members of the imperial family can enter. Isle Grand Shrine was built for the sun goddess Amaterasu Omakami, and the inside of it is rebuilt every 20 years to reflect rebirth. This shrine is so sacred and secret that only a member of the family can be the guardian of the temple, which means that the only members of the imperial family have ever seen the inside of the shrine. No one else is allowed to see inside of the shrine by decree of the ancient Japanese religion. Because no one but the imperial family has seen inside the shrine, very little is known about it. It is the holiest place in all of Japan and in the Shinto religion. The rebuilding of the inside every 20 years relates to rebirth in the Shinto religion. So, even if you were able to see the inside, within 20 years, you would not know what it looks like on the inside anymore because it will have all been rebuilt. Isle Grand Shrine is unlike any other sacred place in the world because of its extremely limited access. The only way you are going to get inside is if you marry into the imperial family. And what are the odds of that happening? 6. Heard Island, Australia, animals which humans have never laid eyes on. Heard Island is in the middle of the ocean, between Australia and Antarctica. So even if you were allowed to visit the island, it would be difficult to get there. But just why does the Australian government make it illegal for people to go to the island? Heard Island is completely untouched by humans. And the government wants to keep it that way. Only by very remote methods does anyone know anything about the island. It is known that the animals that live on and around the island are unique to that area. There are 2 active volcanoes on the island, the tallest mountain in Australia, and a number of glaciers. In other words, Heard Island is a beautiful pristine wilderness that has not had any contact with humans. In order to keep the island in this pristine setting, the government of Australia has made it illegal to visit the island. As stated, there have been remote expeditions to learn about the island, but people are not permitted to visit the island for any reason. Imagine an island so untouched by humanity, meaning that the animals who call it home have never been seen by anyone. That would be Heard Island, the secret Australian island that about which the government says, keep away. 7. Poveglia, Italy, I get the shivers just thinking about it. There are a number of rumors and theories surrounding the history of Poveglia, but it is hard to tell what is true and what is not. The only thing that is certain is that visitors are not permitted on the island, and for good reason. Because, if any of the other theories are true, no one would want to visit Poveglia. The island was used to house plague victims in the late 18th century. Those people died, and that has led to the belief that half of the surface of the island is made up of human remains. Later, Napoleon used the island as a weapons cache, because it is so small and difficult to find. However, his enemies did find the island, and there was a bloody battle at the site. In the early 20th century, a mental hospital was opened on site, which was closed about 40 years later. All of this history has led to the belief that the island is haunted. With human remains all over the island and massive Napoleonic battles taking place, the island of Poveglia certainly has seen more than its fair share of deaths. Plus, mental hospitals always lead to stories of ghosts and haunting. 8. Surtsey Island, Iceland, some of the newest land on Earth. Formed in 1965 from volcanic eruptions, Surtsey Island is not accessible by anyone but the most highly trained scientists. There is nothing deadly about the island, so why does Iceland only allow a select few to visit? That is a delicate and highly controversial issue. There is fear that humans will destroy the delicate ecosystem of Surtsey Island. This is some of the newest lands in the world, and it is constantly changing with new eruptions of the volcano. Scientists aim to study the new volcanic island, and so other people are not allowed to visit. New species of plants and animals are developing on the island, and it would be impossible for them to grow and develop if people were constantly interacting with them. The highly trained scientists who are allowed to visit the island know how to view these new species without destroying them. What is so special about a deserted island off the coast of Iceland that keeps the government and the United Nations from allowing people to visit? Surely, it is not only because of the flora and fauna on the island. There may be more to Surtsey Island than is originally believed. Theories abound as to why this island is kept a secret and why no one is allowed to visit. 9. North Brother Island, United States of America. Are they hiding something here? North Brother Island is home to Riverside Hospital, or what is left of the hospital. The state of New York purchased the island in 1885 in order to build the hospital. Riverside Hospital was built in order to house extremely contagious people with diseases like typhus, tuberculosis, yellow fever and smallpox. During World War II, the hospital was used to house military veterans. After that, Riverside Hospital was used to house heroin addicts. However, it is now closed, abandoned, and falling apart. Due to the storied history of the hospital, no one is allowed to visit North Brother Island. Despite the ban on visits, many people have tried to get onto the island to visit the former hospital. The history of the hospital, including its most famous guest, Typhoid Mary, makes for a huge draw for history buffs and ghost hunters from all over the world. Even if you were brave enough to spend a night at Riverside Hospital, the state of New York absolutely forbids anyone from visiting the island. There are a number of theories that exist about why no one is allowed on the island. Is the island haunted? Are there still people in parts of the hospital? We may never know why Riverside Hospital and North Brother Island are permanently closed to the public. 10. Vatican Library Secret Archives, Vatican City. What's hidden here could alter history. The Vatican Library Secret Archives is so secret that no one knows for sure exactly what is in them. The secret archive has over 50 miles of shelving housing over 35,000 volumes of catalogued documents, some dating about 1,200 years. And that is just what is known about the secret archive. Anything added to the secret archive is not removed for at least 75 years. That means that documents available in the rest of the Vatican Library is dated back at least 75 years. So, who knows what is in the secret archive from the last 75 years? Even though documents are routinely removed after 75 years, there are things in the Vatican Library secret archives that will never again see the light of day. Some speculation about things in the archive include letters from Mary Queen of Scots, excommunication bulls related to Martin Luther, and other priceless historical artifacts from the long history of the Catholic Church. And, of course, some of the documents in the Vatican Library secret archives have the power to make and destroy that very same history. Because of the potential for ruining the history of the Catholic Church, there is very little possibility that anyone will ever see exactly what is in the secret archive. Thanks for watching the video. Like the video, share it with your friends. Also subscribe to our channel.